Today's video is all about Botox for the treatment of strabismus. I'm guessing if you've clicked on this video, you're either a regular viewer of mine, in which case thank you for clicking on this video, especially considering how niche it is. But if you're not a regular viewer of mine, I'm going to guess that you're watching this video because you also have strabismus, in which case, hi! Isn't it great? I'm going to try and be as informative as possible in this video, but I do want to say I'm not a medical professional. I'm only going to be talking about my experience. I would recommend talking to your medical professionals and getting their opinion, and also getting a second opinion as well. It's always useful to have a couple of opinions before you make a decision on something. This video is going to be structured into different sections, so if you're interested in a particular thing, have a look in the description below and I will have put the chapters there so you can click through to the moments that you're interested in. For a little context about me and my eyes, I have strabismus, specifically exotropia, so I have an outward turn on my left eye, so it points outwards and upwards ever so slightly. I mean, it points outwards a lot, but upwards slightly. I've had 2 surgeries to try and correct this in my life, one when I was 11, and that surgery was successful. That was purely on this eye, and it moved the eye in. So I had straight eyes for quite a long time, around about 8-ish years, I think. And then recently, about 2 or 3 years ago, I had that surgery done again and it wasn't successful. I made a very in-depth video about that second surgery, so if you're interested in that, I'll pop it in the cards and also in the description below. If you haven't seen that video yet and you're interested in surgery, I'd highly recommend watching it because I talk more in depth about that and show you the whole experience. The comment section is also really great on that video. There's lots of lovely people having conversations about their experience and asking questions, so the comment section is particularly useful, I think. Because that second surgery wasn't successful, I was then offered Botox, and that is now the treatment that I am having. I've got about 10 minutes to, they basically said they can do Botox today if I want to. Yeah, I said I think it's gone out again, and they said, yeah, you're right, it's about measuring about the same. And they said it's because I've had the operation before, and they're such small muscles that sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, I think I will try and do it. It's scary. I hate that I was born with this. Okay, love you. Bye. I'm supposed to have this treatment every 3 months, but because of waiting lists, I've had to wait a lot longer. And because of that, I am now in the process of transferring to a different hospital. But for me, I tend to have it every 3 months. That's the goal. Let's get into the actual process. Little disclaimer here, this is just my experience and I have gone to Moorfields. I haven't had this treatment done anywhere else, so this is just my experience at Moorfields. It might be different in other hospitals, other countries, and also everyone's case is different, right? So a treatment that I'm having might not be the same for you. You might need different things. But this is just my experience having Botox for strabismus at Moorfields. Today I'm going to Moorfields to have another Botox treatment, and I thought I'd bring you along. I can't film a huge amount in the hospital. I will try and film some bits privately that's not near anyone else, but I can't unfortunately film the process, but I can show you little bits of what it's like, talk you through it, and also show you the results afterwards as well. The first thing they do is an assessment, so they're checking the position of the eye. I'm not sure if they check other things as well, but I know they're definitely measuring like where your eyes are in alignment. So you do lots of different exercises and following different things and looking at different things, just like any eye test really. At the end of the eye test, if they think you're a good candidate and you want to go ahead, they talk you through the process and essentially give you a disclaimer, and you have to sign a form. So once you've done that and you're all good to go, you then go to a waiting room. In that waiting room, they get you ready for the injection. They put, I believe, 5 anesthetic drops and a drop of adrenaline in your eye. And the first drop always stings. Like it makes my eyes water and I have to keep my eyes closed for a minute because it's just really stingy. It doesn't particularly hurt, like it's not comfortable, but it's fine. So yeah, you look up, look to the side, they give you the drops, and they do those in like time increments. And then at the end, they will do a drop of adrenaline. They did say last time I was in that not everyone has the adrenaline. I don't really know why. I personally do, but as far as I'm aware, the adrenaline reduces the redness in the eye, so it's easier for them to see what they're doing. They also clean your forehead and put some gel on it and then put these wires on it. I believe these are like electrode kind of measuring things. It's all very scientific and very cool. So they stick them on and then they get plugged into a machine, and I believe it measures like the electrical business that's going on so that they know that they're in the right place. And then after that, when it's your time to go in, you sit down, and I ask for 2 extra steps, and I didn't know initially that these were extra steps that they were doing for me. When I had it done the first time, I was incredibly nervous because I'm needle phobic. I do have a tendency to faint or go really lightheaded if you come near me with a needle. Sometimes I also have panic attacks if you come near me with needles, but I've got a lot better over time, pretty much just through doing all of this eye stuff. But yeah, they do these 2 extra steps, which, as I said, I didn't know were special at the time. And so I then, second time I had Botox, they didn't do it. And I was like, oh, and it was also like not what I expected. And then I realized later on that I needed to ask for those things because I hadn't realized that initially they were something that they did to make it easier for me because of my phobia. But those 2 things are, they cover my good eye, so I can't really see what they're doing. My vision in my left eye is very poor. I can see, like I use it peripherally, but I can't really read with it. I can't hold focus with it. It's very, very poor. So they cover my good eye, which means I can't really see what they're doing. The other thing they did is give me an extra drop of anaesthetic, and also anaesthetic on a swab, so like a cotton bud essentially, and they will pop that in where they're going to do the injection. I personally love the anaesthetic swab thing because it's kind of like a dress rehearsal for the injection. It helps me feel less nervous because I know that they've poked that muscle with that swab and I can't feel it, so it's going to be fine. Every single time I've had the injection, I have been sat down and laid back. It just so happens that every single time I've had it done and they've been injecting my left eye, they've been on my right hand side, so they come in sort of over from that side. Another thing I do to reduce my phobia response around needles is I ask them to just not show me the needle, like just don't let me see it and I'll be fine. So when they're ready to do the injection, as I say, they are usually stood on this side, and then they pop the needle in the outer muscle. That's the one I have because they're wanting to weaken this one because that's the one that's pulling my eye out. Then I have to track my eye from here all the way across and look at the needle. And I remember the first time I did this, I was like, this is awful, like I have to look at it. I don't think many people would, even if you weren't needle phobic, I don't think many people would be like, yeah, that sounds good, that sounds fun. Like, it's not the most pleasant, but you can't feel it for the most part. I say for the most part, I'll elaborate that on that in a second. But you can't feel it, and I can't see it really because this eye is so poor that I can't really see it, so it's not super scary. Once I've tracked my eye across and looked at the needle, holding it over this side, I then have to stay there for about 60 seconds. But I think if you're having a single dose, it is 30 seconds, but I have a double dose. Then they usually do a countdown, so they'll be like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then they'll take the needle out and then they sit you up. As far as I know, they sit you up so that the Botox stays where they put it and it doesn't start like leaking into other areas. That is something that can happen with Botox, and especially if you have a double dose, that it could leak into other areas and you can get ptosis in your eye, which is where your eyelid sort of droops because the Botox has got into those muscles. I've personally never experienced that, but they say Botox it's temporary, so if you do get a side effect like that, like it's going to wear off anyway. Then after that, they ask if you've got glasses or if you usually wear a shield or a patch. I have a shield because I don't wear glasses. That is essentially just a piece of like plastic stuck over your eye, and the aim of that is to protect your eye from any scratches, because when you've got anaesthetic in your eye, you can't feel your eyeball, and because you can't feel it, it means that you could accidentally scratch the surface of your eye. So that shield is to protect your eye while you still have anaesthetic in it. Then after 4 hours, you can take that patch off and you're all good. I'll pop in some clips here of the afters just so you have an idea of what it's like. I'm back from Moorfields and a bit more dishevelled than before, but that's fine. It went really well today. The team was super lovely. I mean, they always are. Like the team at Moorfields are amazing. If you ever get to go, yeah, you're very lucky because they are amazing. But it was really good. Didn't feel anything, and I said to her after, I was like, that's one of the best ones I've had, and she was like, oh, that's nice. So yeah, it was good. I now have this patch on, this beautiful patch. They put a little cotton eye pad underneath today. They don't normally do that. That's interesting. So yeah, I'm gonna leave this on for 4 hours from the time I got anaesthetic, which is like 4-ish, 4:30-ish. So I'll leave it on till at least 8:30, I think. It's the following day, so it's been around 22 hours, I think, and I just wanted to check in and show you my eye. I don't think any changes have happened yet. They say that Botox takes 48 hours to kick in, so we shouldn't really be seeing any changes. I'll show you my eye tracking so you can see. So this is looking straight at the camera. I think we'll see more changes tomorrow. It's Sunday and I had my injection on Thursday, and today is the first day where I've actually noticed any change. I guess you can decide for yourself whether there's any change. I'll do my eye tracking now so you can see, but I feel like my eyes are a bit closer together, and also I notice at some angles I get a second image on this side, which I don't normally get. I normally get it on the other side, which tells me that my eyes kind of overcorrecting at certain angles. This is me looking straight at the camera. It's Monday and here is an eye update. So this is what they look like. I think they're the same as yesterday. I don't think there's much change, and this is how they'll stay for about 8 to 10 weeks, I believe. And yeah, so I'd say this is the final result. We'll do some eye tracking now to show you. I think I get some overcorrection on these sides here, so from this angle I get a bit of overcorrection, and I also get, it still comes out when I tilt this way, but yeah, I think for the most part, quite good. This next section is going to be a Q&A, so hopefully this is going to be helpful, but if you have a question that I don't answer here, please do pop it in the comments below and I will get back to you. Again, I'm not a medical professional, but I'm happy to share my experience, so if I can help in any way, I will. And also the comment section is just it's a nice place for people to talk about their experience. So yeah, I highly recommend engaging with others and sharing your experience, because it just becomes a really useful resource for everyone who's interested in this treatment. So questions. What is the point in this treatment? So the aim of it is to improve the alignment of the eyes. It doesn't improve the vision in your eyes at all. It's mostly cosmetic, and it's about the appearance and the alignment of the eyes, so that when you're looking at someone, it appears that you are looking at them and not over here, which is what my eye likes to do. Does it hurt? No. ... kind of. It depends on the day for me. I would say no, that would be my answer. It doesn't hurt, but I have had some experiences where I have felt the needle go in, and it's less so the pain of the needle and more just I can feel that there's something going on around there. And you can also feel the pressure of the Botox going in, which to me felt like they were pushing the needle too far into my eye, and that's actually not what that feeling is. The feeling is the Botox being injected, and it just feels like pressure. I didn't know that at the time, and it freaked me out. I have had a mixture of experiences here. Again, none of them are super painful and awful, but some of them have been uncomfortable, and others I haven't felt at all. So I think it just depends on the day and maybe who is doing the injection. Also, if you've got scar tissue, it can be a bit more complicated maybe, I don't really know. The anaesthetic drops do sting, particularly the first one, and then after that you stop feeling it. It doesn't hurt afterwards, in my experience. In fact, the Botox actually reduces the pain and the strain in my eyes, because I tend to get a pulling pain in this outer muscle. And if I'm tired or I haven't slept well, I can really feel that pain and that pull in my eye, and it can give me a headache, and it could just make my eyes feel really sore. So having the Botox completely reduces that and makes my eyes just not ache, which is great. What should I do to prepare? You don't need to prepare anything, really. You can just turn up. I even asked them the first time I did it, I was like, oh, do I need to take my makeup off? And they were like, no, it's fine. You don't need to do anything, it's fine. In terms of being ready for the experience, if it's something that you are nervous about or you are needle phobic, I would recommend having a look into you can do meditation things for phobias. There's apps like Headspace. I know there's also meditations and things on Spotify. So if there's anything that helps you feel more relaxed, I would prepare those just in case you start feeling nervous. Maybe organise to have someone go with you if you're feeling nervous and you feel like that would help you. Maybe organise to have the day off of work. And also eat beforehand. That's something they always ask when you go in, is have you eaten? Because they don't want people fainting. How much does it cost? I live in the UK, so I'm very fortunate that I'm able to have this done on the NHS. so I don't pay for this treatment, which I'm super, super grateful for. And the last question, how does it affect double vision? So I have double vision, which means I have one image here, which is like the real image, and then I have a second image here, which is much more faded and it's slightly offset. So I see two of everything. My brain turns off the second image a lot of the time, but I have noticed that having the Botox, it makes the images closer, which for me, I'm not used to it and it's a bit weird. Like sometimes I'm looking, especially recently when I've just had the Botox done and it's really worked. I can either get over direction, which means that I get an image over here as well. So the image is crossed over to the other side. And sometimes I get three images, if that's even possible. It appears to me like three images. I've got one here, and one here. So like the main image with like a ghosty, blurry image here and here. And so for me, that's like quite spacey because I'm just not used to it. This time after having Botox, I was like looking at people going like this, like, whoa, like I feel like my eyes feel weird. So yeah, it does affect double vision. Typically it moves the image of where it is. I believe one of the goals of this treatment is to reduce double vision, but personally I still have it. That's all for this video. I hope you found this helpful. Do check out my other video on this topic if you are interested, and check out the comments below. If you have any questions, please do ask. I would love to help if I can. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.